Secretary Raimondo, thank you for being here. Let me take you back a ways and how this all came about. In 2016, October 2016, I brought Chairman Wheeler because they kept telling us we were covered. I know Shelley has gone over. We both have been on top of this and trying to make this work because I couldn't figure out why they were saying, oh, no, your maps are covered. Your maps are good. You're covered in this area. So I brought Chairman Wheeler to Tucker County, and we were out at the vocational school, and he said, he was there, and it was showing that we had good coverage in this area with the maps that the FCC had. So I told him at that time, I said, why don't you call back to your office and check to see if you have any message or whatever, and just use any phone you want to or any carrier, because it's showing that we have good coverage here. And it brought to light that he knew something was wrong. And I said, Mr. Chairman, this is happening all over our state. So we started these tests, and we start challenging every school, every area, and it was unbelievable. I know Shelley's office has done the same. It's just unbelievable the response that we received, and we start pushing and pushing and pushing these maps. And then they said they couldn't pay for the maps, and they didn't really was reluctant to upgrade these maps. Well, rural America was getting left behind. Rural West Virginia and Appalachia was definitely left behind. So we put some things in this piece of legislation as we were working the infrastructure bill, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, to make sure that we wouldn't get left behind this time. And we said that these areas that have no coverage whatsoever ought to be the highest priority. And I just wanted to make sure that that we're on track, and that you all coordinating it with the FCC is on track to make sure that's where the first assistance is going to go, and the highest need that there is in the country is in the areas that have no coverage whatsoever. And Secretary, it came more to light during basically this pandemic than any time before. I had kids that couldn't do their homework. They fell behind. Rural America fell behind faster and further than any part of our country. We had basically our veterans who couldn't do telehealth. We had doctors who weren't getting reimbursed because they couldn't do telehealth. They were doing everything by normal landlines or cell service. So we had to get a waiver in order for them to get reimbursed for telephone health, if you will. So it's been a cadre of problems that we've had, but it's said that basically there are at least 258,000 West Virginians without broadband access. But we've had estimates as high as 900,000, which is 50% of our population does not have connectivity or not dependable connectivity. So the only thing I can say, what steps are you taking in the short term to make sure that these needs are going to be met? And how can I help you?
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, shall I just go for it?
Okay, shall I just go for it?
I have you. Yeah. Secretary, you're on. I have you clear.
Okay, well, it's great to see
Okay, well-
you, albeit on a screen. And
Senator Manchin, I think you need to mute. Try it again.
Okay, it's nice to see you. And it's heartbreaking to listen to you talk. It's outrageous and heartbreaking. And I'm determined to work with you to make sure every single person in West Virginia, every household, every small business has high quality broadband when we're done with this work. Yes, I will commit to you that this is an initiative by its design, which is prioritizing unserved and underserved. Underserved is maybe technically they have service, but it's poor quality service. That is the explicit focus, that is the priority, and that's where we're going to go, to the unserved and the underserved. And the reason we're setting this up so that the states are in the lead is I am a firm believer that the states know, in some cases, address by address, school by school, where the dead spots are. And so we are relying upon state broadband offices and mayors and county commissioners and governors to put together a plan to, tell us what they think is required in their state to provide excellent, high quality, affordable broadband. I also will say, and I remember saying, oh, go ahead.
Can I just chime in one time real quick? Basically, the FCC, Chairman Rosenworcel, how are you all connected with her, making sure, and what timeline does she have on her maps? How are they doing on the maps? Because we've been speaking and everything, trying to stay on top, make sure she has the necessary funds and also the resources and help in the urgency that needs to be done. Because we can't do a thing without that.
Yeah, no, believe me, she hears from me often. I've met with her, Alan Davidson's met with her, we're in constant communication. She's saying summer, we will have the maps, and so we're gonna continue to work with her to make sure we get them as soon as we can, but even more important, that they're accurate.
Accurate.
You know what I would ask you to do? It might help, help you all determine where the need is the greatest and how you can best deliver the services there and funding, is ask for best practices. Every state has some areas that have an area of best practice. We have some co-ops. We have a co-op is probably one of the better ones, not only in our state, but probably in the country. And if we can mimic that and use their expertise and what they have found, we could hopefully be a little bit quicker in getting the services to the people in West Virginia. We have a higher cost of getting service in a rural area. So basically, we have 10%. I think there was a 10% upcharge on that that would allow for the higher cost in the more expensive mountainous areas, more rugged terrain, if you would. These are the type of things I think we can accelerate that. And if the state, if you could let us know how the states are cooperating with you, if our state of West Virginia is working with you with the Broadband Council, using the best practices, giving you some ideas of how we can accelerate that. But until the maps come back, they can tell you what's not covered right now, but I'm not sure the maps, I'm hoping the maps are going to be accurate enough to show you where the need is.
Yeah, absolutely. We will work with your state. I will keep all of you apprised as to how it's going with your states. I would ask you to keep me apprised how you think it's going. You're correct. There's a 10% set aside for high-cost areas, which are more expensive than the average unserved area. And I expect, whether it's West Virginia, Alaska, a lot of your communities will be eligible for that plus up to take into account just how expensive it is to lay fiber in these areas.